A friend of mine asked me, "Why do you talk so much about yourself during your reflections? I don't experience you as being that arrogant." I guess he's an acquaintance. My friends have experienced my arrogance. Ironically, I can best answer his question with a story about myself. In October of 2007, I was preparing my response to a petition given to our church session against my supporting the Peace, Unity, Purity Task Force report that year, and my seeking ways to fully welcome to ordination elders, deacons, and pastors who are gay and lesbian. The petition's last line read, "Do we wish to bet the souls of men, women, and children that God has changed?" I was in the midst of gathering and editing what many other biblical scholars and preachers had written into a series of quotes and ideas to craft my response for Tuesday, October 16th session meeting. 90% of my preaching had been using the quotation method because I was a better editor than a writer. And 24 years of sermons had been well received, and if it wasn't popular, I could shift to blame to those who I'd quoted. On Wednesday, October 10th, I experienced God's love and grace in a profound way. When I prayed that the things which give me power in society not stand in the way of my being faithful. On Thursday, I prayed, "God, what am I supposed to do now?" I was reminded of Jesus asking his disciples, "Who do other people say that I am?" And then Jesus asked, "Who do you say that I am?" I spent all day Friday and most of Friday night writing my personal journey to where I stood biblically and ethically. On Saturday, I went to our Presbytery Evangelism workshop put on by Knox Fellowship. They ended the workshop with these words, "Tell your story. You are the only one who can tell your story, for you're the only one who knows it. You are the only one who is an expert in your story. Tell your own story and journey of faith. Share it with others. Tell your story." When I got home, I opened the mail with a flyer from the Covenant Network of Presbyterians announcing their event coming in November. It was called Testimony. You shall be my witnesses. I took the hints and continued to write. Like Hamilton, I really did write like I was running out of time, and it never occurred to me to sleep for 4 nights. On Monday, I had a psychotic bipolar 1 manic break, and my arrogance was shattered and my power was removed when I was legally committed to the mental hospital at Mid-Mo a few hours before the session meeting. Maybe I split my brain before splitting the church. Instead of my testimony, the session heard my sister's testimony. As a psychologist, she had flown in that day to help, and she taught our session about bipolar disorder. For 13 years, I've taken my meds, had plenty of rest, and sought appropriate ways to share my testimony as I care for others. In counseling, I listen more than I talk. In coaching, I ask questions more than I give advice. I still research what others have to say. Here, I seek to model telling your own story in times and places where we seem to be more reactive than reflective. Your testimony may or may not affect another person's story, but it's the only area in which you are the expert. What are examples from your life do you recall saying what others believe rather than what you believe? What parts of your journey do you have in common with others? What parts of your story are unique to you? How can witnessing to your testimony improve your environment?